Hello and good morning. We're out here at Brian Ropar's, I shouldn't say backyard railroad, because it pretty much takes up the full yard. So let's take a look what we got. We built up the dirt about 4 foot there. Got some of the bridges in place. I took it organize some more of this dirt and I'll build the bank up a little bit better. I'll tell you what, as soon as this roadbed's done, this track's going to be done overnight out here. Got our first railway signal. And meter pocket for the service entrance. It's going to plug into the 240 for the AC. And I basically moved the power line diagonally across the yard instead of across it the way it was. So let's go up there and check that out in a second. First I'm going to cover some things on here. So basically from that viaduct up there, there's going to be a temporary bridge back to here. And it's going to come back here into the tunnel. Close the gates so the dog does not escape. He's not out here, but you never know, somebody might accidentally let him out. And into the tunnel. Let's see, transfer shovel, bow rake, spade, pickaxe to break up the dirt. Tunnel side A, tunnel side B. Exact same thing. You can see how that's dug out, and we're moving as much material as we possibly can. And you can see how that's going down. And over here is where we just were a second ago. I'll tell you what, that's my most favorite tool in the garage right there. Couldn't be any simpler or do its job any better. And we'll come back here. There's that loop there. It'll go up onto the switch track. The connector track that connects the lower and upper loops. We have this tunnel here that's being built, and you can see how my power lines range from down here. And it'll basically go in the tunnel, and it'll come out up here. I'll tell you what, we haven't got enough rain this spring. The grass is not really filling in as fast as I wanted to. And I'll tell you what, that tap water just kills all my plants out here, so we just gotta be patient. Now the tunnel, actually the opening tunnel is gonna be right here where the spillway for the pond is gonna go. And it basically comes up here. Yeah, I rearranged just a little bit more. That's the upper loop there, but we're on a switch track, connector track. It's going to come up here. Watch out for the low-hanging power line there. It's going to come up here on the switch track and up onto the upper loop. And as you can see, I moved the upper loop over top these tree stumps and basically out as far and as big as it could possibly go. Still in the upper loop. And you can see this is really coming along. Like I said, we haven't had enough rain out here. I'd say this state's turning into like a tinderbox. Still in the upper loop. You can see the signal there with its meter and its underground power line. You can see how that's coming along. Still in the upper loop. It's like icy out here in the shadows. Still in the upper loop. And up over and across the connector track. Back under the low-hanging power line. You can see we got various divisions out here from power. Pretty much everything. This is our tree trimming service right here. Pretty much everything you'd ever need to do any of that. Past the plastic chair collection, you can see how that's coming along. I'm trying to follow this grass and get some even level. And now onto the turnaround track, that switch track we passed a minute ago. So you go back down here, around the lighthouse that I'm building in the pond. You can see this is really starting to come along. I'm going to have a 13.8 line here, because 13.8 typically goes out in wooded areas that are in the middle of nowhere, versus the 7200 12.470 that goes on that. That's the connector, like I said, the turnaround track there. And onto the siding. Check out my hopper car and my dirt handling vehicles. And onto the switch track here. And onto the connector track. And back on. And reverse direction around the upper loop. And I tell you what, here's my quarry division for my copper car you see there. This is the sledgehammer sitting there under the signal bridge, still on the upper loop. And you can see it. This is like really coming along on the upper loop. Past the plastic chair collection, I tell you what. I mean, it's slowly coming along. Like I said, I got the rest of my life to do this. Throw the switch here. Go back down to the lower loop. Underneath the low-hanging power lines and upper loop. And down into the tunnel. Into the tunnel. And back down and out to the lower loop. You can see I really added the stirrup. Yeah, I tell you what, we added about 10 feet to this hillside here to make it less level, or should I say less steep, so I cut grass on it. And you can see we've really been doing a lot of stuff out here. And back down in reverse direction onto the lower loop. Across the bridges. Onto the temporary bridge. I'd love to build a Duluth Canal style bridge across the top of that. That'd be sweet. On the lower loop. Close the gate so the dog doesn't get out. You can basically see how this layout's going to work. I mean, this is sweet. It's like freaking icy out here in the shadows. So anyway, there you have it, Brine River Parks. Not back yard railroad, but yard railroad. I'll explain why we're doing this later.